Show me a woman who says that everything on her list is urgent, and I'll show you someone who's been conditioned to treat other people's wants like her own emergencies. Hey there, my name is Megan Sumrell, and I am a productivity and time management expert for women. And if you clicked on this video, chances are you are drowning in a never ending to do list, and all of it feels urgent, like it has to get done today. Right? And you've probably been searching for prioritization advice, but you're like, but still, what do I do if everything is urgent and a top priority? All right. Now, here's what's subtly happening. It's not that, you're bad at time management, or maybe it's not even that you're not good at prioritization. It's that unfortunately, a lot of the advice out there around this is very pragmatic and practical, and it's not tapping into an actual emotional trigger or problem that a lot of women have that lead us to being in this place where we have a never ending to do list and everything feels like it's an equal sense of urgency. All right, so today I want to share with you two things that you can do to really help reframe the idea that everything has to be done today. Because the fact is, you will not be able to get everything on your growing to do list done today. Right? It's simple math. I would guarantee you, let's say you're awake for maybe you don't even sleep that much. Maybe you only get 6 hours of night of sleep. Let's say you're awake for 18 hours in the day. If you added up everything on your list that you are claiming is urgent and important and must be done now, it's likely way more than 18 hours, right? So we can't continue to kid ourselves and think, I'm just not planning well enough. We need to address the fact that it isn't all going to get done today. So, how do I decide where to start? All right. So, again, I'm going to be giving you two powerful tools to really help you figure out what is it that deserves your time and energy when it feels like all of it is equally important. Now, step one is going to seem really obvious, but most people aren't doing this, all right, especially in the second scenario that I'm going to give you here. So, the first step in this process is to go through everything that you believe is important and needs your attention right now and reflect on it and truly ask yourself, what is the drop dead due date on this? Meaning, if I don't do this, like what is the deadline that if I miss this deadline, there will be negative consequences, right? It will be considered like if you're a student, if I don't get the paper in, that means it's going to be turned in late. My grade is going to go down. If it's a work situation, the report's not due, my boss is expecting this is going to have a negative consequence against my review, potential future, salaries, promotions, etc. Maybe it's even something personal that, oh, this thing has to be done by this date or else the opportunity is lost, right? Maybe you're filling out an application and applications have to be in by a set date, all right? Now, with some of these, it's going to be very obvious for you where if there's an impending due date or not, right? Especially with application deadlines, assignment deadlines, etc. Now, you may have a bunch of stuff on this list that someone else has asked you to do. All right. So maybe in a work scenario, your boss or supervisor has assigned a task to you or said, "Hey, would you mind gathering this data for X, Y, or Z?" Here's what subtly happens, and we don't realize it, is oftentimes somebody else has put basically something on our to-do list, and we are coming up with an assumption around the importance of it or when this needs to be done. And because someone else has asked it of us, we instantly think this is a top priority. And if we go the extra step of saying, hey, when is the deadline for this? What is your drop dead date for when this needs to be done? I can't tell you how many times when I see people starting to do this, they're like, oh, this actually doesn't need to be done till next week. And they were stressing out about it, trying to figure out how to get it done in the next 48 hours. So when you're going through that list, again, if it's something you've put on your list or there's a definite deadline that you know about, put the date next to it. If it's something that's shown up on your list that you did not put on there, right? It was put on there by someone else and there wasn't a communication of a deadline, have that conversation. When do you need this instead of making your own assumptions? Now, once you have those dates there, you're going to very easily be able to order it by what is due the soonest, right? Because you may have stuff on there that has a due date 2 weeks from now. Already, you can be like, okay, this isn't a priority for me in the coming week. Now, let's talk about the stuff that's going to be on there that isn't going to have a date, right? We all have stuff that it's like, well, there isn't a drop dead date on it, but you have your own internal date of when you would like it to be done. Okay. And this second step is where we really need to, this is where more that emotional side instead of the pragmatic, solely date driven approach is. And it is, there's two questions I want you to ask yourself when you are looking at those items where you're like, I don't know. Question number one is this: what would happen if I did not get this done? What would be the consequence? And get really serious about it. Because usually when I'm working with women on this, the answer is, I'm going to disappoint somebody else. And our desire to people please and to show up for others for good reasons, we love them, we want to help, whatever, is putting extra urgency and priorities into a life that maybe we just don't have the time for right now. Right? So if the answer is, I'm going to disappoint somebody else, or I'm going to let somebody down, guess what? That's a fantastic opportunity for you to now go have a conversation with that person, right? Saying, hey, I've got all these things that I've got to focus on for the next couple weeks. I would love to be able to do this, but I'm just not going to be able to get it done right now, right? You can be proactive in that conversation to let that go. All right, so that's question one you're asking yourself is, what happens if I don't get this done? Because the answer might be something truly catastrophic, in which case it needs to stay on your list. Now, the second question that I want you to ask is, does handling this right now align with what matters most in my life right now? And this is why when we go through my annual planning event, Planapalooza, every October, you can find out more about it going to megansumrell.com/plan. One of the first exercises we go through is really understanding what are our core values? What matters most to me in this stage of life right now? And I want to give you an example of how this comes into play. So let's say you're thinking through, all right, does this align with what's important in my life right now? Maybe there's something on your list that you have volunteered to go do something for an organization a month from now, and you're taking a look at what was most important to you right now. Maybe one of your core values was, I want to be home more with my family. Well, now you're seeing you've got something on your list that is in conflict with what matters to you most right now, which again is now a good sign that this thing, you now need to figure out how you're getting it off your list. Right now, when we start exercising this muscle of aligning what's on our list with our core values and we get really good at it, this is what prevents those things from coming on our list in the first place. But if you're in a place right now where it's already there, right, it might mean that you need to have some uncomfortable conversations and maybe fully transfer ownership to somebody else. So maybe there's something on your list that you're like, oh, I allowed someone else to put this on my list. It's not in alignment with what I want to be doing right now. And I said yes because I didn't want to disappoint them, right? Well, now you get to have a great conversation that might go like this. Hey, I know this is important to you, and I want to help you figure out how to get this done. But right now, my time is full, and you don't need to even tell them what it's full doing, but you can just say, my time is full, so I'm not actually going to be able to take this on. Let's brainstorm together on who else might be able to do this, right? Because our ultimate goal, you've got to stop being the catch-all for all the things getting added onto your plate. Now, when you do step one of just the dates alone, I promise you, a lot of things that we're feeling tremendously urgent and like have to do right now, you will likely see, okay, I don't need to stress out about this up the upcoming week, right? Maybe this is something that can wait another week or two. But then when you do the deep work of now looking at everything else that's on there and maybe even some of those with those impending due dates to say, is like, what would happen if I didn't do this? And is this aligned with what's important to me right now in life? You will start to notice patterns of things that you are allowing other people to put onto your plate that now you can start to have that awareness to stop them before they even get there. The fact is, you will have to make tough choices. One of the number one questions I get asked all the time is, Megan, I have so much stuff that has to get done. How do I decide what to do first? Right? And they want to hand me their list and say, "You tell me what to do first." I can't do that. Nobody can do that for you except you. You know what those dates are, and only you can know what is it that is in alignment with what is most important to you right now. And chances are, everything, if you are in that place right now, chances are something's going to have to be left behind because the math doesn't work in terms of you don't have the hours available to get this stuff done. Now, I didn't say this was gonna be easy, right? It's easy in the sense of putting the dates and looking at it, but this might be the first time you've actually had to have those uncomfortable conversations. But the sooner you learn this skill and the sooner you start protecting how much stuff comes onto your plate, the happier you will be, and you will find you very rarely find yourself in a situation where you're like, "Oh my gosh, too many things are urgent. How am I going to get them all done?" Now, if you have a friend in your life that you feel is always battling this, please share this video with them. And if you don't want to miss out on any future training here at the Pink Bee, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will notify you when new videos come out, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Have a great day.